Okay, we're gonna just bear with me. We're gonna just power through this. Kite. I'm nefariously not the best kite player. I get it. Like, I can talk about it enough, but there are better sources for this. Um, Maybe talk to like Zyphos or like Loopy or Charix or the Phoenix King or someone. So kite. When do you kite? How do you kite? What is kiting? Oh gosh, you. The point of kiting is to snipe out everything that's important to an enemy before the fight ever starts. And then you take a fight with worse units, but at that point you outnumber them in most cases. Again, depends faction to faction, but the main point of kite is if you have a mobility advantage over your opponent, drawing them out. Now, kite is countered by standing archers, artillery, those sorts of things that are going to outrange what you're kiting with in most cases as far as skirmish cavalry goes. Now, some kiting archers can outrange regular archers, so I guess that is dependent, but your key priority whenever you start a kite game is to eliminate any agency tools that the enemy has in the game, and by that I mean like heavy cavalry that can run down your archers, or enemy archers if they outrange you, or artillery pieces, and you always need to bring something in your build that can take out whatever you're afraid of. So let's say you're fighting Empire, right? And you're playing the Wood Elves. If you want to kite the Empire, you're going to need tools that have heavy armor piercing to take out their Empire Knights. You're going to need tools that have high range to outrange their archers, and you're going to need tools that can take out cannon pieces. Now, things that could take out a cannon piece is maybe the Waystalker Hero's Arrow of Kurnos, though in Ultra Size that isn't that great anymore. You could take a Spellweaver with Soul Quench. You could use the Sisters of Twilight single shot, something like that. As far as killing enemy archers, Sisters of Twilight multi-shot, a Spellsinger or a Branch Wraith with Pit of Shades or Pendulum. Way Watchers can trade pretty effectively with them. Those kinds of things. Or you want to have like some sacrificial flying units in the case of Furies or Harpies on other factions. You can just chuck at a ranged unit and kill it at the sacrifice of that unit. But the main point is you need to bring tools to snipe whatever your opponent has to have agency in the game. And then you need to be fast. If you try a kite build, and this is one of the things that I can talk about easily with Nurgle, a kite build that doesn't work is trying to kite with like Kugath. So the problem with trying to kite with Kugath is he is your long-range piece, he is your main ranged asset, but he's slower than anything else, so your enemy can just walk at you and then get agency back in the game. So Kugath's hard to fight with. That being said, if you're playing with the Wood Elves, you may not want to take... all their stuff's pretty fast, but something with, like, where's the Treekin? How fast are they? 34? It's still pretty fast, honestly. Anyway, if you're slower than your opponent, what's the point of kiting them? Because they're just going to walk up and beat you to death. Okay? You probably don't want to kite a rush faction, probably, because rush factions usually have rather mobile tools that can chase you down. Yeah, nets are also pretty good if you're going to kite. The last thing I guess I have to say about builds for kite is you're going to want cavalry in most cases to protect your archers. Even if it'll lose the cavalry fight one-on-one, you have to assume that your cavalry is going to be supported with ranged assets while theirs isn't. And that's the threat you make. So like if you have Glade Riders and some Wild Riders to support Way Watchers, if you're taking a fight with your cavalry in range of the Empire archers, again going back to our example, then that's a bad fight and you shouldn't be that close and you shouldn't be taking that fight. What you should do is have your archers run up, shoot the enemy archers. If the cavalry starts walking towards you, you back up and shoot at them. And if they keep walking towards you, you're running far enough away from their lines that now you're out of their archers' range and your cavalry runs up, takes the fight, and you shoot their cav while you attack their cav, and their cav just attacks you and loses the fight. And if their cav run away to go back to their lines, you shoot them in the back while they run. So it's largely about that. It's about staying outside of your opponent's range at all times and never, never, never taking a melee fight within their range. Never. Never, never, never. Heard a lot of it in the army build phase. The only thing I do want to say is a warning about Vanguard when you're playing Kite. Generally when you're playing Kite, it's up to you. You almost never want a Vanguard. Almost never. There's not a lot of reason to Vanguard his Kite, because there's two situations that I can see. Now, you can disagree, but this is just what I've found. If you Vanguard with your ranged assets, let's say you put them there, put your ranged assets there. Either the enemy is going to be exactly where you think they are, and you saved yourself 5 steps, which you could have deployed here and taken 11 steps and gotten in range anyway. Okay, you saved yourself 4 seconds. Or you're standing here, and an enemy skirmish cavalry or dog unit is standing right here. The battle's going to start, and they're going to eat you alive. So generally, unless you're rushing, I don't think Kite should deploy in the mass Vanguard. Like, maybe you can put it here if you're really that adamant about using your Vanguard potential. But if you do Vanguard, you might want to deploy some of your mobile assets nearby the kiting assets to protect them. Because like I said, you know, I literally had a battle on Alfredino's stream the other day that I had some gutter runners deployed up in like a sneaky position here, but he had some cavalry like literally inside of them. Battle started, they routed off the map, and I lost. So, just saying, if you have kiting elements, the Vanguard's tempting, but I think it's a bait. Roar!
Subscribe, yes, yes.